Harry, this is Lord Potato, and this is What If Asta Met His Other Self, Part 4, the end of this What If. Now, why are you thinking that I'm ending some of the series of the What Ifs? It's because I have ideas for them to kind of be ended, and yeah. Now, yeah, some of them, yeah. So I already ended to what's called What If Asta was basically has 3 devil fruits and had Hawking, already end that one. What if Asta was evil, already end that one. And this one's going to be the 3rd one that I'm ending. But don't worry, I have other Shinrai what ifs and Asta what ifs that I'm gonna do. Mostly I have another Shinrai what if I wanna do. But yeah. Also, what's it called? I should also mention that, well, I have another Asta what if, but that Asta what if was just a redo of an original, well, not original, a what if that I did, but I didn't like it, so of course I'm gonna redo it instead. So yeah. Of course it's not gonna be that long, but yeah. It's probably gonna be either a movie or be a, what's it called, an actual series, but yeah. But let me begin into this what if, and let me shut up before I take any more time of your dear time. So let me begin. So this is, well, what if Asta met his other self? So let's begin. So of course we go into, well, not a recap because it hasn't been a month. It is today the 12th, and the last what if that I uploaded for this was the 12th, well, August the 12th. Today's the September 12th, so no recap. It hasn't been kind of a month. Until this day is over, it is a month, but since it's not technically a month, it hasn't actually became a month. It just says 4 weeks since uploaded. It's technically, I don't need to do the recap. Ding! Yes, I'm being a jag about this, but not the point. Let me begin, and let me shut the fuck up. So, we begin into, well, what they call the fight between Lich and Asta, and also Yuno. Of course, this is where Asta is right now in Bankai mode. Well, I should say, well, Bankai form. Mostly, the Black Blade and all that. And this is where he's fighting against the Lich. Right now, also using the Demon Dweller to kind of pull out and start fighting against Lich. Lich is kind of fighting against Asta. He also did try to take the Demon Dweller from Asta, but Asta managed to kick him in the face, launching his ass. This is where, well, Yuno is trying to kind of like send multiple wind attacks at Lich, but Lich is going really fast. Much faster than Yuno can keep track, and of course managed to get hit in the face. Kind of launching his ass past, well, Asta, because Asta is behind Yuno, and of course is where, well, Yuno says, Asta, fucking help me. Asta says, nah, you got this. This is where Asta still is flying mid-air, and of course is clashing with Lich. Lich is trying to just keep blocking. This is where he managed to get the Demon Dweller. He transformed it into light, and this is where he sends a light slash at Asta. Asta then says, get your attention! This is where he uses his Black Blade to just hit the light slash, and of course both attacks clash, but this is where the get your attention managed to rip through it. This is where, well, wait. This is where, well, I keep saying this is where, but whatever. So, of course, this is where Lich and, well, Lich managed to dodge with his light speed and, of course, starts attacking Asta again. Right now, using both the Demon Dweller and the Demon Destroyer to attack Asta. Asta then pulls out his Black Blade and, of course, dodges and twists it through the air, kind of dodging Lich's attack. But this is where Lich is kind of sending multiple slashes of light. And this is where Asta is kind of speeding up in the air, kind of flying away from Lich in high speeds. This is where, well, Asta and Lich are right now in the water, kind of, well, not water, mostly on a stream. And of course, the water behind them are picking up thanks to the speed force. And of course, this is where, well, they see each other. And this is where Asta starts clashing with Lich. And of course, Lich is clashing with Asta. This is where, well, Lich managed to hit Asta and kick him out of the way. But this is where, when Asta is almost about to get hit away, this is where Asta says, Hollow Mask, Hollowification. This is where he gets into Hollow mode. And of course rushes at Lich with more blinding speed and more powerful brute power. This is where, well, Lich tries to block it with his 2, well, swords, but of course he gets pushed back down. He realized how powerful Asta is and needs to get rid of. This is where he then sends a very powerful light attack at, well, Asta, a light beam from the sky. Asta sees this, and what Asta did it just says so. No, you don't. Getsuka. Tension! He cuts through that shit and managed to give a slash mark to Lich. Lich is right now falling down to the ground. This is where, well, he let go of the Demon Destroyer, but the Demon Dweller he still has in his hand. This is where Asta did manage to get the Demon Dweller, and of course transform into anti-magic when he puts into the puck. Because fuck it. This is where, well, Asta, he did kind of waste a lot of energy when he was kind of using it that Getsuka potential. So of course he falls backwards. Of course, where, well, managed to catch him. But yeah, the others kind of saw that, and of course they kind of, well, they're gonna have to fly towards what they call the capital, because, well, yes, the elves managed to still bring Lich and get him back towards the capital so they can finally take over the humans. So, of course, where, well, all of them are kind of trying to get rich to the capital fast enough, but this is where Asta wakes up after being healed and all that. And of course, where Asta kind of jumps off to kind of help the village. He still brings out the Demon Destroyer to destroy the magic from the elf. This is where Asta pulls out his, well, what's called Shinkai, mostly the, what's called long knifey katana, well, knife and all that. Well, not knife. The long katana knife and all that. And still cut this motherfucker down with just a simple Getsuka Tensho. Let's see where, Asta says, is anyone okay? Everyone is fine. This is where Orsius is kind of like being so proud of Asta. And actually he sees how Asta is much taller since the last time he saw him. Asta has become 5'8". So yeah. Asta has now the color of like black and, well, yeah. Well, black and white hair, I should mention. Because he doesn't just have white black hair. He just also has, well, not white hair. He does have like grayish hair, so I should mention. But yeah. Of course, well, Asta sees, well, Nosh, and this is where Nosh says, Asta, you're here. Yeah, Nosh. Don't worry, kid. Protect everyone here. I need to go, okay? Yes. This is where Nosh is like, well, not Nosh. Nosh gets to the others and kind of talks to everyone and saying that his big brother Asta is gonna do everything. Because, they didn't jump out of the bird because Asta was already strong enough to protect the Hard village without, and defeat an ensign. That's why, took a little bit longer. That's where Asta flies up and, like, flew away. That's where, says, damn it. That's where Father Ortiz kind of asks, what is happening. Kind of simplifies down to kind of saying that we're being attacked by elves. And this is where Ortiz kind of asks about Asta news. Look, they don't know. I haven't actually figured that out neither. This is where, well, Father Ortiz understands and says, I see. Well, good luck, you two. Hope you two can protect this, well, kingdom. This is where Asta's right now flying toward, well, where he senses the most kind of like attacks and all that. Well, not senses, mostly sees. Of course, he finds what they call the others kind of fighting against Luck, the elf Luck. And that's where Asta pulls out the Demon Destroyer and just chucks it at, well, Luck. Luck gets hit by the Demon Destroyer, and of course, a just hit in the chest, and this is where, well, Luck elf kind of gets erased, but yeah. This is where Asta says, yo, you guys okay? This is where Vanessa and Magnus says, thank you, Asta. You managed to save Luck here. Luck says, haha, it's interesting. Very interesting. Huh. We should probably get towards the kingdom. Yeah, we should. But this is where we go into somewhere else. People who seem to manage to destroy a magic place. A magical region area. That was blocked thanks to, well, whoever created it in the beginning. But this is where, well, they managed to break through. But they broke through to kind of fight the Clover Kingdom. And these are devils that are kind of breaking through. Dante says, we should probably get there and take Yami. This is where, well, Xanon says, and we should take, what's called, Williams. This is where, well, Dante next to him is, Vanica says, oh, I can't take little Petrica, but I could probably take someone out of there. Maybe I should kill Nozel, that little brat. Mostly the child, Sylveon. Whatever. Let's go. This is where all of them are not going. But this is where, well, the Black Boots meet up with what's called Rades. And of course, this is where, well, they kind of go to kind of visit with the not visit, get to the capital. And when they get to the capital, they kind of start fighting against some of the elves and getting there. Of course, they find, well, Ghosh, and of course, they fight against Ghosh, who's in the elf mode. Of course, this is where the elves are trying to kind of like reincarnate or whatever bullshit. They bring out the Dark Castle. The elves manage to get in. This is where Asta and everyone else, like original canon, gets into the Dark Castle. That's where, you know, he gets in thanks to his like necklace. This is where, the first Wizard King does get in, but yeah. But this is where we go into, well, a battle between, well, the elves, which they kind of call original canon, but this is where Asta doesn't bother to fight against the artist kid and all that, and actually helps, what's called, unify against the devil that came out, named Zagreus. Zagreus is fighting against him, but this is where he felt the energy, the strong magic power, and that is, well, Lucifer. Bazilene? I don't remember how you say that name, but of course that devil, and of course is where he felt merely on what's it called, devil out. This is where he is now shocked and scared, but this is where he says, "Why the Supreme Devils out here?" No, we go outside, and of course people are being attacked by the Supreme Devils and the Devil Disciples. This is where when what's it called, Julius is kind of still into kid version. He felt like someone took over control of his body. Right now, it is Lucius who managed to take control of his body and says, it's finally time. Luckily you, Julius, were stupid enough to protect this kingdom. Whatever. It is time to destroy these pathetic weaklings. First, I just have to get, what's it called, Williams. And then I get Yami. Whatever. This is where, when the devil Zagreus was actually defeated thanks to Asta kind of going get to potential holification mode and all that, he managed to cut what's it called, well, do a cut out, well, Zagreus, but also put out the Demon Slayer to kind of be able to kind of go into Black Asta. This is where, when he did that, he managed to cut down Zagreus. Pretty damn easy, cut him into a million pieces. But of course, when everyone gets outside from the Black Castle, because it was crumbling, they kind of see how the devils are kind of fighting against them. And Lucius appear right now taking out, well, Yami and also taking out Power Charity. This is where, the Elf Lich and even the Wizard King were trying to fight against him. But of course, they were unable because this is where, Xanon appears and even Ivanica. This is where Dante appears also saying, so, big brother, are we here to finally take over the Clover Kingdom and take, Yami and also, Julius? Of course. Or not Julius. Yami and William? Of course. First, we just need to do this. He says soul transfer magic. He pushes, Power Charity out of the soul, out of the body of Williams. And this is where, he says, now, the only problem that we have left is him. He points at Asta, and Asta is kind of weakened from that whole fight. And this is what, what's it called? Dante says, no problem. He makes his spear pretty fast and launches straight towards Asta, and it hits him right in the middle of the chest. And this is where Asta says, no. He passes out, and this is where everyone's screaming, no. They try to fight against the devils, but this is where, everyone was actually destroyed pretty easily. The devils are like, these guys are too weak. That's where Petrica, not Lord Petrica, mostly Vanica saying, they're so weak, pathetic. This is where, we go into Asta. We go into Asta's mind, meeting the true, mostly meeting Zangetsu, also known as his true self. Mostly true Asta self, but yeah. Asta says, I need to get back out there. You can't, unless you master this transformation. You managed to master this transformation when you were fighting against Zagreus closely, but you didn't go berserk. But of course, it wasn't fully there. The holification mask wasn't fully there. We will give you a power if you manage to defeat us. This is where Asta's trying to fight against the, true, what's it called, Zangetsu. And of course, this is where, mostly Zangetsu, Asta's self or whatever. And this is where, Asta's clashing and clashing and clashing. But this is where, Asta gets kicked and beat up easily by his true self. This is where Asta then realized one thing. One thing and one thing only. Why fight against himself when he should just accept himself? Why do that when he should just accept it? He already accept part of himself. That's why he looked completely different. But he didn't fully accept himself that much. This is where he gives out his hand and says, "Then I accept anything that happens." A sword just shoved through him, like right through his chest. That's kind of near his neck and all that. And this is where Asta kind of hugs his cause. Zangetsu Asta and all that. Well, Hollow White Zangetsu Asta and all that. And this is where Libby was also there, and he also kind of sees that Asta's definitely Lichiza's son and all. Well, Lichiza's son. This is where Asta felt this rush of power, but also met Libby when he was rushing this power because there was a cloak around him kind of appearing. And also his face is being changed. But this is where Asta meets, Libby for the first time. And of course, where, Libby was right now in anger and rage. And this is where it was a kid version of Asta kind of like helping out a younger version of Libby. This is where, Libby says, "Thank you. I will always help you, twin brother of mine." This is where, when the white cloak appears around Asta, it then changes into a crimson blackish red cloak. This is where we go outside. We go into an outside version of Asta. Right now, a power explodes from him. Yuno was the only one fighting, and actually advancing even stronger. And what's it called? His magic power. He also advancing uses the spatial kind of star magic. This is where, he's trying to fight against Sanin, Vanica, and even what's called Dante. And also Lucius. That's why Lucius says, "You will never be able to defeat us, Prince Yuno. You're just gonna This is where they all turn around, even Yuno, and say, "What the?" This is where we go into Asta. This is where you hear in the background. So yeah, of course the music started. I don't know. I just thought it would be great enough for the theme and all that. So of course the theme song appears. The "We Are Number," not "We Are Number One," number one and all that. Yeah. Whatever. Okay, I'm probably gonna get copyright, but I don't care. Truly, I don't care that much. But of course, this is where we go into Asta. Asta has a horn on top of his head. He also has what's called these black markings that are kind of show to be a mask and all that. Well, it's kind of like a half mask that's on his left side, and his left side has a purple eye instead of being green. But of course, his what's it called mask horn, mostly the horn mask and all that, is kind of like reddish black mostly. But yeah, of course we go into Asta's hair. It's not fully black. It's a mixture with black and white. Of course, this is where there's two, kind of like horns around his head and all that. Like 4 horns entirely, but yeah. This is where, 4 horns. And of course, this is where, mostly to each side, but yeah. This is where, there's also, in the hollow mask, there's actually a second kind of like hollow mask horn that's kind of protruding from the right side, but smaller a little bit. But of course, this is where, one of what's it called? The other eye that Asta has is just crimson red instead of being purple. The right one, of course, Asta, he has what's it called his Union mode, Devil mode, but at the same time, it's a mixture of kind of being a Soul Reaper mode. Think of it like final what's it called Ichigo's mode, but yeah. So this is what kind of Asta's form would kind of look like. But instead of having like this whitish reddish aura appearing with black reddish aura, it's just fully black and red, but has a purplish tint color to it. But yeah, of course, this is where this is his kind of clothing, but with a Union Devil mode kind of looking like. So yeah. Of course, this is where Asta has 2 swords on him. They're actually the 2 swords that he has is a mixture of the sword from the kind of hollow Soul Reaper / Hollowfy White Asta mode and all that was on Getsu mode. It's a mixture with the 3 swords from the anti-magic, mostly the Demon Slayer, the Demon Destroyer, and the Demon Dweller that he did get from, what's it called, Libby, or not Libby, from Lich, because Lich did drop it after he getting killed from the devils and all that, and Nero couldn't do anything. But yeah, it's a mixture between those swords, and of course those two swords. One sword does have, well, a kind of fragment, well, half a fragment of the kind of like Soul Reaper blade and all that, and the other one does have the same, but, well, one has the Demon Dweller and Demon Destroyer mixed into it, while the other one has the Demon Destroyer. So one is a longer katana, it's a long black katana, while the other one is a medium just katana. It's where, well, Asta, he just like breathes in and out, and of course Frost Breath appears. This is where I should mention one thing. There's a tail behind Asta, just like, yes, just like double union mode and all that. But Asta has wings and all that. It's just like double union mode. But the double union mode kind of wings kind of have like this whitish tinted glow and all that. Thanks to the Holofine mask. But yeah, or did I say the Holofine mask was just pure back? Yeah. This is where, oh, Asta is now in his final truest form. This is where Asta, he now has a lot of memories and a lot of power now. This is where, well, Asta breathes in and out. But this is where Asta flash step right upon, well, Vanica and Xanon. This is where Asta swing his, what's it called, right sword, because the right sword does have a mixture of what's called, well, it's a long katana. He swings it once straight towards him. This is where he takes both of them out of the way, just smashing them straight towards the wall. This is where, well, mostly to the ground. This is where Dante tries to attack him, but this is where Asta says gets a potential anti-slash. This is where, well, he slashes and destroys the kind of gravity magic around what's it called, Dante, and Dante was shocked. And this is where, well, Asta, the music in the background is still playing, I should mention. So yeah, the music in the background is still kind of just playing, and of course, where, well, when Dante tries to just attack them in hand-to-hand combat, Asta just appear right in his like face view and all that, and fucking knee him in the face. This is where, well, Dante is launched to the ground, and this is where next is Lucius. Lucius kind of looks at, well, Asta and kind of growls, because this is not part of his plan. He was expecting to get rid of Asta. He saw all the outcomes of Asta not coming back. He even saw Asta's double union mode. He never expected this form to come out. Asta, who looks at him, I should mention one thing. Asta's eyes, they are, of course, they do have that kind of pattern of what they call, of, you know how double union mode and all that. But of course, I should mention, Asta still has the eye pattern of the double union mode. But of course, it turned into a star. Like the outside around that cross and all that is a star. This is where, well, Asta's smiling, and of course, he's flying extremely fast to Lucius. Lucius tried to dodge with his kind of double magic of time and all that to see into the future. But of course, when he tries to dodge to the left, Asta appears to the left and right now uppercutting his shit, right now sending his ass up in the sky. Lucius never expected that Asta had this much power. This is where, well, he then says, Dante, Xanon, and even Vanica, attack him! This is where, well, they all try to attack Asta, but this is where Asta is twisted in the air, right now kind of like dodging both, all three of them. And this is where, well, when he managed to kind of dodge, like kind of like going down, because he went down and all that, while they all went up and tried to attack him with their different attacks, this is where Asta points, well, what's it called, two of his blades towards, what's it called, two people. Mostly the short blade was pointing towards Vanica, while the long blade was pointing towards Xanon, and he was facing Dante. And this is where two balls appear, well, not two, three balls appear right in front of each of the blades. Mostly one in the blade, one in the other blade, and one on, well, Asta's horn. Mostly the holification horn. This is where Asta say, settle. This is where the ball is actually like a reddish blackish color with a color of a tintish of purple and like white a little bit in there. This is where, well, he sends the attack in sludge. Blah, blah. It hits both Dante, Xanon, and even Vanica. Their magic was destroyed in an instant thanks to the settle. This is where, well, they could not use double mode, and of course their kind of contracts are also destroyed thanks to this attack. They fall down, kind of screaming, and of course they all kind of just like, no, our devil. Even what's called Vanica's like right eye or whatever, left eye was destroyed. That devil was gone thanks to the settle hitting them. It did also destroy a good part of their body because, yeah. But this is where, well, Asta looks at Lucius and Lucius says, no, I won't lose. No, I can't fucking lose. No, I won't give up. You are going to give up. I won't. This is where, well, Asta says, to the fuck bad, you fucking devil. Fuck off. Asta appears right in front of Lucius' kind of view, and this is where Asta says, two sword style. Double God Slayer, double slash, cross slash mostly. This is where, well, Asta appears behind Lucius, and Lucius says, no, I can't. He gets split into 4 pieces. This is where, oh, Lucius says, no. He disappears. And this kind of energy appears around him, kind of destroying his entire body, and actually making him disappear, erased from existence. This is where when Asta kind of gets down to the others were already being disappeared from energy and all that because they also lost their magic. And yeah, thanks to the anti-magic blast settle, destroying their, well, first magic and their soul. But yeah. But of course, well, Asta lands down, and of course he sees everyone still being kind of hurt and all that. And this is where Asta says, he says a number way. Asta puts out his finger, like 2 index fingers out. Mostly he puts his sword just floating in the middle. And this is where, well, Asta is right now putting both of the fingers out and saying Baku Katsu number 100 and, well, 45. Yeah, 45. Heal of the internals. Healing internally. This is where, well, a giant spread of healing appears all around the whole kingdom and manages to heal everyone. Of course, Asta after that was just extremely tired and passes out of the mode. But we go into a time skip. Of course, Lopez goes out of the curse of Vanica because the curse was not destroyed, mostly the devil itself. But yeah, and of course, Asta has now became, well, the strongest out of everyone in, well, the Clover Kingdom. He became, well, rank number 1 and all that. What's it called? Not rank number 1. He became the strongest, and also just didn't need to go through what's called through those ranks of becoming like first Magic Knight squad or anything like that. He instead just became the Wizard King. Straight up, they needed a Wizard King, and they just made Asta the Wizard King because he's just technically the strongest. This is where everyone else, well, Yuno was angry the fact that he didn't become the Wizard King, but he had to become the Spade King. So yeah, of course, well, mostly the King Prince, whatever. And of course, everyone was kind of enjoying life, being happy, because, well, they didn't need to worry for anything. Of course, the elves were kind of like brought back to kind of life by Asta, and this time they didn't have any malice. Asta just brought them back for them to live peacefully. Peacefully in another world, or not another world, in another place, mostly where the elves kind of originated, went towards, to that one tree and all that, to meet the descendants of, well, Lich and, yeah. This is where, well, Lich was okay and living on, but he didn't want to live on, he instead wanted to die with his wife, but yeah, and be with his, like, best friend, but yeah, the other elves were kind of fine, they were okay, just living with Lich, but yeah. Sad, but just because, well, Power Tree didn't become the leader, mostly Ryle became the leader of the elves, but yeah. Of course, they do make trades a little times with Asta, the Wizard King. And I should mention one thing, Asta had a kid with Noelle, and Noelle and Asta, they did have a kid, well, mostly like 4 kids. So one is the oldest, it has kind of like whitish but purplish hair. Of course, he's able to kind of go into Reaper mode. One is a younger kid, but a little bit younger than his older brother, who has kind of whitish hair, but can go into holification, but can't go into Reaper mode. And the last two twins have like purplish hair and look the exact same. They just act differently. But of course they look just like Noelle. I should mention the other two. One had purple eyes, like actual like purple eyes. The oldest was mostly. The other one had very brightish greenish eyes. Now these two had like a pinkish, mostly pinkish, but also kind of mixture of green color in them. Of course, they were the twins, and they were able to kind of use, kind of like holification. Well, one of you can use holification, but also with water magic. The other one can go into Soul Reaper mode, but with water magic. The other two, the oldest, well, mostly the two older ones, couldn't really use any magic, but they could use anti-magic. But yeah. But of course, it worked. Well, Asta was kind of happy. He is now 27, I should mention. So we would have went into a time skip of, well, 12 years. But yeah, into the future. Of course, equal rights actually happened because Asta did kind of abolish the whole system of royalty, noble, and blah, blah, blah. So Asta did just become kind of governor, but yeah. But of course, everyone kind of lived happily. Some people kind of got married, whatever. But yeah, Yami, he still met Nacht, and Nacht kind of saw how Asta is. A very kind person and other things, but yeah. Of course, all that has went to a very end. Also, yes, Mars did kind of become the Diamond King and did kind of marry Fauna, but yeah, don't worry about that. But of course, well, this is the end of this What If. Yes, you probably think, how the fuck did this even happen? But yeah. I should mention one thing. I'm not very caught up to, Bleach, so I don't even think that what's called Banco that I just said is just a real fucking thing. It's just me making it up, okay? I don't even think Banco even does heal people. I think it was another type. Fuck, I don't. It was a Keto. Was it Keto? Fuck, I don't think I remember. But whatever. Since that is happening, I'm still reading what's it called Fire Force and what's it called the Fire Force like manga and all that. So of course. After that, I am going to go into Bleach, and then after that, I'm probably going to One Piece. Or should I go into One Piece and then Bleach? Nah. Because Bleach is going to come back in October, and I already want to watch, what's it called, the Those in Blood War anime. But yeah. But other than that, have a nice day, potato, night, potato, seek, potato, and good night. So yeah, this is the end of this one. So, bye-bye. Potato, potato. Good night.